Hello, how are you today? I'm so glad you're here. I really, really, really want to help you know how to go from clarity to conversation, from conversation to conversion. How do you package who you are and what you do in a way that allows people to want to and even have to say yes? Hi, my name is Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, an international best-selling author of 37 books and counting. I've actually got three of them that I'm working on right now that I want to bring out real quick to you guys. But more importantly than that, I've worked with nearly 5,000 people, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. But what I really do is I help people become the authority in their space, to be visible, to be valuable, to be seen, to be heard, and to get paid. If that is something that's interesting to you, if you'd like to go from best kept secret, from feeling invisible, from feeling unseen, from not feeling like anybody is in your corner, on your side, on your team, wants to join you, whatever those kind of things are, to being known, being powerfully showing up in your world and making the difference in the lives of the people you're meant to serve, then I invite you to come join me. Let's work our way through this today. Let's talk about it. Now, for those of you that are, watching on a regular basis, that have been here with me regularly, we've been talking every day, consistently in the noon hour, somewhere between 12 and 12:30 is when I'm going live, Central Time. So if you're on the West Coast, that's 10 a.m. If you're Mountain Time, you're in the Rocky Mountains, that area, it's around 11 o'clock. It's the 11 o'clock hour Mountain Time. As I said, noon Central Time or 1 o'clock Pacific Time. And I'm committed to coming to you every day to bring you some stuff. Now, we've gone through some cool things. We've talked about consistency, about if you want to be visible, you've got to be visible. That's right. You've got to be where people can see you, and you need to consistently be there in order for people to be able to do that. And then we went in deeper. We started talking about what is your passion? What is the purpose of that passion? And how do you channel that purposeful passion into that thing that you just have to say? Not all the stuff you could say, but that one thing that no, 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 you have to say. Not N-O, but K-N-O-W, have to say, right? And then we took that deeper. And then we looked at who is your one person. And I've used this story before, but I love this story about the little girl walking down the beach, throwing the starfish back into the ocean just as quickly as she could after the storm. And the old man watching her eventually said to her, you can't possibly save all of them. And she smiled, picked up another one, and threw it in the ocean. And she turned back to him and said, yes, but to that one, it makes all the difference. You see, to the one person, and there's millions that you're going to serve and millions of people that you'll help, but let's focus on that one person, because to that one person, that makes all the difference. That changes everything for them. When you show up, see, you've got to show up. You've got to be out there. You've got to be visible so that you can then add value. And as you do that, more and more and more people are going to join in with you. More and more people are going to, want to be engaged with what you're doing. Thus far, all of our prompts, although I've encouraged some of you that know how to talk, to do more like what I'm doing and just get on and just start talking, just start teaching, just start being in people's space. I love 5 and 10 and 30-second shorts. I like watching them. I like doing them. They're highly powerful, and I have a ton of content. I have a 10-year-old radio show. So just from that, I could pretty well hire a VA to just repurpose all my stuff forever and go on vacation and be in your space. Okay. But I love doing those shorts. I love going on and telling you, you've got this today. Okay. I like doing these long things. And what I know is that over the course of time, if I talk for 15 to 20 minutes minimum, And all of you are laughing because you're like, yeah, I'd love it if Steve stopped at the 15-minute mark. Um, if I talk for that minimum, and if I talk for, even 30 or even 45 minutes, people are going to come in and out. I don't expect that you're going to necessarily sit here the entire half an hour or the entire hour or whatever I'm doing. Now, there are times when I'm teaching the Write Your Bestseller in 1 Hour workshop, which I'm going to do here in a couple of days, probably next Monday, but I'm still organizing schedule. I'll let you know as soon as I know specifically. When I'm doing that, that's a little different. That's, as it says, an hour. So I'm going to be here for an hour. But the rest of the time, I don't expect that you're going to sit here the whole hour. You need that whole hour because if you're writing your book, you want to do that. If you want to go even deeper than that, I have a do-it-yourself course that'll walk you through every single one of the 70 plus steps that my team does in my done for you version. There's actually even more than that when we're doing it for you, but there's a minimum of 70 steps that you need to go through. Okay, there's a lot of people out there. And I think I may even talk about this more specifically live tomorrow. If not, I'm going to do a separate one that I do talk about. There's a lot of people talking about using AI to write your book. And the problem is they skip all of the things that we've talked about the last few days and that we're talking about today, and they go right to, here's how to be able to get ChatGPT or whatever AI to talk in your voice, and then here's prompts to be able to just write it. And boom, you just jump ahead. And the problem is that you've missed a whole bunch of that, and you miss a whole lot of the nuances of it. Now, if you do like I've done with my Chat GPT, and you've seasoned it to the point where you give it 10 years of audio from your radio show and 37 books, and a ton of other lives and stuff, and you say, here's some more information, and then you take others of your lives while you're writing the book and going, hey, I did this live that was specifically on that thing. So when I'm writing this chapter on being visible and valuable, I know that I did a whole live on being visible and valuable, and I'm going to give it the whole transcript from what I already said about being visible and valuable. Then I've taught it how to write in my voice, and I've given it the content, and I can then write that chapter. We can do a pretty good job with AI of outlining a book. There's some nuances in that, and we could talk in more detail on a one-on-one basis if you want to about some of the ditches on both sides of the road of having ChatGPT write your outline, because a typical ChatGPT outline is going to be about 10 chapters, and for most people that are the average reader these days, that's way too much. One thing, take a point, make it really clear, and drive that point home. That's why I keep talking to you on and on and on and on and on and on again. And all I'm really coming live to do is talk to you about going from being unseen to seen, from being invisible to being the authority in your space. Okay? Because I want to give power to those that feel powerless. And I know that whereas back in the day we said a person had to hear your message 7 times in order to take action on it, and then it wasn't that long ago that they were saying it was 12 times minimum that they had to hear it. I actually heard an update on that from a couple of different marketers, a couple of different places that verified it. They're saying now that a person may need to hear your message right now in 2025, may need to hear your message as much as 40 times. 40 times that they have to hear your message before they're going to take action. Our funnels have gone from something where you can put out a low ticket, like a $50 or $99 offer, and get a bunch of people, even if you're totally unknown, you do an ad or you do a viral video or whatever, you can get a bunch of people to join it. Okay. The truth of the matter is that's moved from where it was in, 2019-ish, 2020-ish. It's moved to now in 2025. That's about 3 months. 1 day to 3 months is how far that's moved, because there's so much out there. And because the more that people use AI, the more that there are a lot of things being said out there. There's a lot of noise. But what do I keep saying to you? What did ChatGPT say to me? You're the signal, not the noise. But in order for you to be the signal that cuts through the noise, you've got to say that one thing. You've got to say it cleanly and clearly, concisely, consistently. I know I keep saying that consistent word, don't I? Consistently. And you have to say it in a way that lights up the person that's meant to follow you. Okay? You have to know that really clearly. You have to know specifically, if I can't help you with anything else in the world, we talked about this yesterday, right? What is the one thing that I have to make sure that I share with you? Of all the things I could tell you, I want to make sure you know you need to be visible consistently, because when you're visible, then you'll be valuable. What problem does that solve for them? Know the problem that they're experiencing. Most of the time, that's pretty easy for us because it's something that we've experienced ourselves. It may be being something that we're only one step in the journey ahead of them. We may have said, I don't know the answer to this, but I'm headed forwards. Or I know what the answer is, but I have to take action on it myself first. And, we lead people, we manage things. I love that saying. Richard Marcinko, who was the original leader of SEAL Team 6, uses that phrase. You lead people, you manage things. So that's the best place for you to be. If you're doing like I'm doing, and you're saying, hey, if you want to be visible and valuable, you need to be visible and it needs to be consistent. So what am I doing? I'm being visible. I'm coming out here and being on with you, and I'm adding value to you, and I'm doing it consistently every day in the noon hour Central Time. I'm coming out here to talk to you so that it can solve the problem for me and for you of feeling unseen and being unheard. All right. So the first question, and the first thing I want you to go live, we're going to do 3 lives again today, like we've been doing. I want you to go live and I want you to say, the transformation I help people achieve is, right? LinkedIn, TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever. The transformation I help people achieve is one thing, not 2, not 3, not 6, not 12, one thing. The one thing I help people achieve is, the transformation I help people achieve is. Okay, that's our first prompt. Second thing we want to do is show them the bridge between their problem. We talked about having that one thing and knowing what problem it solves. And then we want to move from the problem to the solution. And how do you get from here to there? What's the bridge? What magnetizes? That's why Willie and I wrote the book Magnetize Media, is what magnetizes them to your message. What is the thing that clicks you right in together? All right. What's the bridge? The aha moment that makes them go, I totally get it finally. After seeing Steve go live for days and days and days and rant and rave at us and go crazy and all the kind of things that Steve does, because Steve's that way. Whether he's wearing a dress shirt or he's wearing this new hoodie that he got from Go High Level that says High Level. I love it. Thank you, High Level, for giving it to me. Yes, you do want to be one of my sponsors. That was a shameless plug for me. Thank you. What is that aha moment that helps them? All right. What is it? What is the thing you need to say? And if you don't know, that's okay. Because what you're going to do is you're just going to go live like I'm doing right now, and you're just going to start talking until you say something that resonates with people. When you put out something, and it could be something really short, and you begin to get a bunch of people that are watching that, are liking it, are commenting on it, guess what? You found your one thing, even if you didn't know what it was. Okay, so what's that bridge? What's going to take them from problem to solution? What is the action, the thought, the process, the system that takes them over? My one thing meets my one's needs by helping them. Okay, we're really driving home this one thing and one person thing, and I want you to do that in a prompt. So we're going to pick up our phone again, and we're going to say, my one thing meets my one person's need by helping them. Okay, now you want to be more specific with it. My going live every day and showing you how to be visible and valuable consistently helps you learn and see in live real time what visibility, valuability, and consistency looks like. See how I did that? So, yeah, the prompt is my one thing meets my one's need by helping them. Okay, what's that bridge? What do you help the person? How do you help the person? What's the hand you give them to step across the stepping stone so they don't slip and fall in? Okay, what's that bridge? What, and we talked about this a little bit the other day. We talked about beginning with the end in mind. We talked about in order to be able to get to the end of the road, we need to know what the end of the road is. You know, if you were going to travel from here, I went to Dallas at the first of this month. Actually, technically, it was the last day of last month, but you know, essentially the first of this month. I drove to Dallas. It's 8 hours, essentially straight south of where I am. There's a few grooves and curves, and I was fortunate that my brother told me that when you're in Oklahoma City, interstate uh, uh, 35 that I was on, you know, it tends to uh, veer off to the left. You know, the quote unquote exit or the stay on, whatever, whichever way you want to look at it, is the left two lanes. You know, and so I knew that, and so I was kind of staying in the middle and going in. You see, having that destination. Okay, so I mean, when we get spoiled these days, you know, we pick up our phone, we GPS a place, and it says, you know, turn left, turn right, and sometimes it doesn't give us the information soon enough, and then we're cursing at the chat at the GPS. I know I'm the only one that does that, you know, but and then we have to, you know, find a place to turn around and go back, and it recalculates and all that, right? But when you're the expert, you don't need Chat GPT. Like going to and from the grocery store or to and from work or those kind of things. You don't need to break out the map and be like, I wonder what the best way to get, you know, to the post office. Many of you know I live in a little town of about 400 people. We have a post office here in downtown. It's about, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 blocks from where I live. I live on the outer edge of town, which is really kind of awesome. You know, and the post office is in quote unquote downtown. Don't get too excited. Again, there's only about 400 people that live in the town. But once upon a time, the town was about 1,500 people. So there's some space available, right? You know, I don't have to GPS how to get to the post office. You know, you go up and you turn left and then you follow that road and then you turn right and then you park at the post office. Okay. It's that easy. But when I never had been here before, when I first moved here, you can better believe that driving here, moving here from Southern California, where I moved here, I was GPSing it the whole way and watching it clearly and even mapping out, okay, tomorrow this is what I'm going to be doing. You know, and stop. And when I was stopped, you know, look at and be like, okay, what kind of nuances? What am I running into? Are there any places that look like? Okay. And that's what your person needs. They need that clear path for them. Okay. You need to know the destination. You need to have the thing that they can take action on. You need to go, this is point A, this is point B, this is how you get to. So that's the bridge. That's the problem, the solution, the bridge. But then when they say, okay, I need that, then what are you going to do? Somebody says, hey, I really need that. I need to know what the bridge is between being invisible and being, you know, truly visible and valuable. Well, like, so for example, with me specifically, we have the link up in the description, and I invite you to it every single week to join our free Facebook group. You know, it's totally free to you. And it's a place, it's called the Visibility Amplifier Community. And it's designed on purpose to allow you to be visible and valuable and to go deeper on all of these things to get help. And, you know, there's a whole bunch of free help that both myself and the other members of my team that are in there giving. It's a brand new site. It's a brand new group. Okay. We've got about, I think, 15 or 16 people in there now, including the team members and myself that are in there. And a few people are beginning to start introducing themselves. So, it's a great time to jump in, by the way. You can get in, you can be one of the founding members, you can get a bunch of stuff for free that absolutely, I promise you, we will be charging for later. Okay. You see how I just did that? I shamelessly plugging an offer, sure, but I need you to be that easily clear on where it is, what it is that is the thing you want to give to the person. It could be a 10 cent or, well, a $10. I don't know that 10-cent programs would even work anymore. Probably cost you more than that in fees to be able to charge somebody 10 cents. But it could be a $10 program, it could be a $100 program, it could be a $10,000 program. Okay, whatever that thing is, it may be your book that you've written. Woohoo, yeah, have it start off with, go here, get my book, read this, and then come join our community. We're going to tell you at the end of your book, once you've finished this book, here's the next step for me. Good marketing is always giving the person a next step. What can I do next? Right? Okay, so when they say, hey, that's me, I need that bridge, you need to have a clear path for them. You need to say, hey, go here and, get this thing. And you just have to offer it to them every single time you go live. So the components, in case you didn't see them, I want to be really, really super clear for you. Okay. Consistently at a specific time, you're going to book off a time in your calendar. And it may be that you're just booking off a time to do the, usually two or three prompts that I give you. Okay. But you want to get your people used to knowing, hey, this person is going to be on TikTok, they're going to be on Instagram, whatever, and they're going to be dropping some little nugget at this time of the day. As you develop, I want you to get to the place where you're doing a live like this. People need to see your bright, shiny face. They need to get to know you. They need to feel like they're your buddy. If you're invisible, the only way to overcome that is to be massively visible, to do more and more and more and more and more and more and more. The more you do is more. It's better in this particular case. There are many times when I told you that more is just more. But in this particular case, you need to be out there. You need to be seen, okay? And sometimes you'll have somebody that's watching part or all the time. And a lot of times you'll have people that'll hop in and look for a minute, or they'll turn it on and turn it right back off. The nature of Facebook, when you click on it, you're like, oh, that's alive, and you slide off of it because you didn't read it right or whatever. You'll get people that'll give you thumbs ups or hearts or what have you. And I can tell you that if you tag me at Steve Kidd or at Ask Steve Kidd, depending on whether you're on, YouTube or Twitter or Instagram or LinkedIn or what have you, or Facebook, tag me. I would love to give you a like and a comment. In fact, I'll give you a heart and a comment if you just tag me, because I want to see what you're doing. I want to celebrate you. Whether I can watch the whole half an hour or not, I don't know, but I absolutely will celebrate you. I want to. I'm impressed with what you're doing. And every time you go live, I'm in the cheering section cheering you on. Okay? So we have that consistent time. We're going to go every day. If it's anything more, yeah, Robin says she uses her GPS for everything. She couldn't live without it. It's how we get around. You're the GPS for your person that needs things. They need you to know how to get from here to there. If your GPS, back in the day, this is a really funny story, total rabbit trail that's totally worth it because it's hilarious. Back in the day, when in the early days of the internet, maps, this is before Google even existed. It was probably Yahoo Maps or other mapping programs like that. Didn't completely know all the roads. Now, at that time, I lived just outside of Portland. I lived in Tualatin, Oregon, which is a suburb of Portland. Um, and then at one point, I lived in a town called Newburgh, which is down Highway 99. Look it up, feel free. Is down the road from Portland. It's out of town about a half an hour. Okay, so from Newburgh, if you stayed on Highway 99, you would make it out to the Oregon coast to, I wish I had somebody on with me, but I want to say that you're going to come out on the Oregon coast on 99 at probably Tillamook, and you'll be just north of Lincoln City or just outside of Lincoln City. Well, 26 would take you right straight to Lincoln City. And 26 is probably a better example because you're going to probably take 26 and not Highway 99. In fact, 99, I take that back because 99 is going to take you a totally different place. Highway 26. All right, sorry. It's been a few years since I lived in the Portland area. But, you would take 26 out to the highway and you'd end up in Lincoln City from Portland. But the funny thing about it is that when I lived in Forest Grove, which is on just off of Highway 26, about 15 or 20 minutes outside of Portland, when I lived in Forest Grove and I would map on those, how do you get to Lincoln City? Or how do you get to Tillamook? Or how do you get to any of those, coastal Oregon cities? And somebody's going to come on. Craig, my buddy, will come on and he'll be like, "You're totally wrong. That's not at all where those roads go." It's been a little while. But it used to, back in those days, it used to say, you need to take, you need to take a road all the way back into Portland and then take a highway out. So like 99, and that's why I was originally saying 99. 99 is a perfect example because it's a little bit less of a direct path to what you really want to do is go back up to Highway 26. But what it would have you do is go all the way into downtown Portland, from halfway to the coast, right? All the way into downtown Portland and then up to Highway 26 and take Highway 26 all the way out to the coast. That's what GPSs used to do, And if you're that kind of GPS, if you're that lost, if you don't know how to get from point A to point B without going through point W, X, Y, and Z before you go to point B for point A to point B, that's what you need to work on. That GPS is everything. And you need to be that person's GPS and you need to be clear. So you're going on consistently. You're adding value. You're speaking specifically to a person. You need to be visible, valuable, consistent. And you need to, this brings us to our last thing, you need to give them a clear invitation to come and be part of you. Right now, it could be a free Facebook group. That's a great place to start. And from there, you can then lead them into your smaller programs. I would strongly suggest to you, unless you're using like a $5 or $10 or $15 book as your intro place, or a small $10 or $20 program, that you start off with something free that brings the people in. Now, the advantage to selling somebody something for $5 or $10 is then they're people who have already spent money. So they're buyers versus just looky-loos. All right, that part is true. But right now, if you're just being visible and valuable, you want more people. And whether some of them are or aren't buyers doesn't matter. But you have to give them that clear next step. What is the clear next step you're inviting them to? Okay. So if you don't have it yet, right now, today is the day you want to go out and just create a free Facebook group, create a LinkedIn group, whatever social media you're on, create a group and then invite people to it. Your prompt, here's our last prompt. If you resonate with this, if you're my one, go to, okay? If you are the person who needs help with this, here is your next step. Go to and give them your link. Okay. Even better yet, if you use the cheat that I do for all of mine, get something that's buy a URL. It's going to cost you $10 to $15 a year. You don't have to host anything there because you can just point them to your Facebook group or whatever, point them to your book, whatever. And you can say, if you know that you want to be visible and valuable and clear and concise, and you want to magnetize media to come and want you to be your raving fans and want you to be on their media, then I encourage you to go to getmagnetizemedia.com. Getmagnetizemedia.com. Go there. Go to getmagnetizemedia.com. That URL will take you right straight to the book. And you could get the book in ebook form, print, and get the workbook that goes with it, all of those, from us. And that's a low ticket offer, and it's a great example for you to see how to do that. Okay? So we're going to know what the outcome is that we're really selling. Create the bridge between their problem and the solution. What is that? What do you do that creates that bridge? And then give them a clear step to take action with you, because you are powerful. You are uniquely brilliant. You were created for a purpose, and the world absolutely does need you. I am so, so excited for all that you're doing. I encourage you. I thank you for you being the change in this world. And on behalf of everybody in the whole world, especially your one, thanks for showing up and doing what you need to do to change your part of the world. We'll see you again tomorrow.